Hi everybody, it's Helen McConnell from helenmcconnell.com. I'm your tapping expert. Today's video is about tapping for anxious feelings or even chronic anxiety. You can use tapping to help get relief temporarily and permanently, but you actually have to do the tapping for it to work for you. Now, when I was younger and partying and doing a lot of really stupid things, I had that feeling pretty much all the time. And the only thing that would make it go away was drugs and alcohol. Well, that's not a very good solution, and it's not sustainable. I stopped drinking and using drugs over 30 years ago, so I had a lot of no drugs, no alcohol, and then some anxiety with no drugs, no alcohol. And what I realized, it's my thoughts that bring on these anxious feelings, and that's true for any of us. If you're feeling anxious right now, it's because at some level you're thinking about, not maybe consciously, but at an unconscious level, you're thinking and feeling about something that isn't happening right now. I'm making a video, you're watching a video, nothing bad's happening. Okay, so it's about something that already happened or you fear is going to happen. And that's not staying in the moment, and that's based on your thinking. All right, it's not as easy as it sounds to get your thoughts under control, but tapping is a great way to start. So first, notice where you feel anxious feelings in your body. I'm going to use my sensations because it's just easier, and you can tap along and use my words, but your mind will switch to wherever you feel your anxious feelings. So I feel them in my gut, right under my solar plexus, and it's just this as if something is kind of twisting my gut. And I want you to know that essentially when you're feeling these anxious feelings, you're not at your best at work or in relationship or at school, because this is like ringing a bell that turns on the fight or flight response. And when we're under fight or flight response, fight, flight, freeze, or faint, our bodies turn off any unnecessary resources. And I'm talking about anything that isn't necessary to keep yourself absolutely safe in the moment, like survive. And so you don't need creativity. You don't need your immune system. You don't need to even have peripheral vision. So all of these things are affected. And if you have chronic anxious thoughts, you're really putting a stress on your body. Your body can only take so much. Tapping is so great, it can begin to relieve those symptoms right now. One other thing that I think is super important before we tap is to identify these feelings as these anxious feelings, not my anxiety. Because as soon as we own a diagnosis or a complaint, we get to keep it. I mean, it's going to stick around a whole lot more. But if you just refer to them more as these anxious feelings, not my anxiety or my anxious feelings, these anxious feelings that I feel, they're much less attached. All right, we begin to detach them already. So now we're going to tap, say, even though I feel these anxious feelings, like a twisting in my gut, and I feel them at a 7, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel these anxious feelings, and I realize I'm thinking anxious thoughts, I deeply and completely accept myself. Take a gentle breath in and say, and I'm breathing into those feelings. And I accept myself completely. Even though I feel these anxious feelings in my gut, I'd really like to feel better. And I choose to notice that right here and right now, I'm really okay, even with these feelings. Okay, now we're going to tap around the points, top of the head, these anxious feelings on the eyebrow. They're a result of my anxious thoughts. Side of the eye, these anxious feelings under the eye, they're so familiar. Under the nose. I've had them for so long. On the chin. I'd really like to feel free. Collarbone. These anxious feelings. Under the arm. And these anxious thoughts. Okay, that's one round of tapping. Take a nice deep breath in. And a gentle breath out. And notice if the intensity of the anxious feelings has gone down. Maybe it's gone up. That's fine. Just notice how it's changed. Give it a new number. And is it in the same place or has it moved? Just pay attention to it. And I promise you, if you keep tapping, and the slower you tap, the better when you're feeling anxious, because anxious feelings come from these thoughts that, hurry up, gotta keep up, or somebody's gonna find out something, or whatever it is, it has a very hurry up feeling to it. So the slower you can talk and tap, the sooner you'll get to this calm state. Okay, so go ahead and go through it a couple of times. 3 or 4 times if you need to, and see if the intensity of the anxious feelings go down. And now, if you want to begin to change your thinking, you know, it's never as easy as we think. It's sort of like stopping a speeding train. These thoughts get going, and it's hard to slow them down. I'm going to give you a trick, and I encourage you to try it. It won't hurt you no matter what. You just tap on top of your head and say, my thoughts are moving so quickly. On the eyebrow, anxious thoughts. Side of the eye. I can't turn them down. Under the eye. But maybe I can turn them down a little bit. Under the nose, just 10%. On the chin. I don't need to turn them completely off. Collarbone. I just want to reduce this intensity a little bit. Under the arm. So I give myself permission. Top of the head to slow down my thoughts. Another nice deep breath in and out. And just notice where your anxious feelings are now. What intensity level are they? Take a new measurement. And again, listen to this video again and keep tapping until the intensity of these sensations comes down. And as you tap, you may notice certain thoughts or images or sense into something else that comes up. Jot it down and tap on that. You may notice that the one thing that's causing you anxious feelings has something to do with a particular thing at work or a particular thing at school or just something in life. And if you can get real clarity on that, you can ask yourself 3 questions. Is this something I can do anything about right now? And number 2, if not, I can set it aside. I don't need to think about it. And if so, I can go do it. Or why aren't I doing something? So in other words, either do something about it or stop worrying about it. It sounds so simple, but it helps to identify the thoughts that are causing these anxious feelings. I hope this is helpful to you. If you have something you'd like me to make a tapping video about, please put it in the comments below or send me an email, helen@helenmcconnell.com. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notifications button so you find out when I've put a new tapping video up, and just keep tapping.